you made it sound remarkably simple, actually. But I think we would all know corralling the G20 to agree to something is a formidable achievement, and one that we're very grateful for your personal, exceptional efforts. And that puts a little bit of pressure on you, Priti, because we're now depending on you to work, some would say, a little bit of a miracle to make the Chancellor, George Osborne, realise that the short-term gain, as you have just said, of pocketing over £2.5 billion from APD, definitely, as all the research that many of you have read and contributed to, demonstrates in the long term is doing harm to the British economy, is restricting the development of 91,000 jobs. I think I'm right in saying, David, the Oxford Economics survey showed that, which IATA supported. And the thing that really gets our members exercised is if a combination of APD and the almost unfathomable logic of EU ETS suppresses air travel demand to Asia Pacific by only 1% a year to the year 2030, then Oxford Economics report shows that 6.5 million less jobs will be created in tourism travel in Asia Pacific. Therefore, we have a lot of interest in this issue amongst our members. We therefore, Priti, look forward to supporting your campaign and would like to hear what you have to say. Thank you.
Thank you for your introduction and for your hospitality and distinguished guests. It's a real pleasure for me to be here tonight, it really is. And I just want to start off by saying that both Andrew and I are members of Parliament for the County of Essex. We represent Essex constituencies. And tourism in Essex is a big deal. Tourism in Essex supports over 50,000 jobs and contributes over £3 billion to the UK economy. So thank you to all of you really for what you do in terms of supporting tourism and the United Kingdom and our economy in terms of tourism, jobs, economic growth and aviation. Aviation, I think, you know, before we talk about APD, is at a critical time in terms of the political debate in this country. We've just got the Davis Commission that is only just getting started to look at issues such as aviation capacity. And that alongside sort of airport capacity, runways, etc., etc. APD, air passenger duty, is a very, very significant piece of that debate. And, you know, we're only getting started on the aviation strategy, although I think we're a long way behind on that, but that's another conversation. But on APD, I think we are just getting started because for the first time in a long while, I feel, you know, we've had quite a mood change, I think, in terms of the whole discussion and the whole narrative about APD in Parliament here. We have been able, for once, to build a degree of cross-party consensus around the economics, the actual financial and economic issues associated with APD. And the debate we had last week was a very soft motion. I'm putting it very politely. It could have been a much more sternly worded motion, but I thought I'd give government a reasonable chance to respond. But we had a soft request to government, which was really to ask the UK government, Her Majesty's Treasury, to really put together an economic case, looking at the finances around APD, vis-a-vis the actual harm that it does to all the areas of inbound tourism, foreign direct investment, hampering travel, the fact that it hits the bills of hard-pressed taxpayers and households in this country already when it comes to them booking their holidays, and the fact that APD is very much a punitive tax. It seems to be a one-size-fits-all tax that comes out of the Treasury, an ill-thought-out tax that just hurts the economy, it hurts households. And effectively, my motion was there to get the Treasury to have a stop and think, to press the pause button, and say, please go and do the financials, have an economic analysis as to the damage that this tax is doing. Now, the long and short of it is, and I think most of us recognise, the figures are out there, that air passenger duty raises quite easily, dare I say this, for the Treasury £2.9 billion. That's the projected sum that the Treasury will get this year. And the Treasury mantra is that that all contributes to deficit reduction. However, in the long term, it is damaging our economy. It is damaging tourism, it is damaging the industry. It is yet another tax on a highly taxed industry. And that is something that has to be combated and challenged. And I think, as I've indicated already, I think we are only at the start of this campaign. We are only dipping a toe in the water right now, because much of the data speaks for itself in terms of the damage and the counterproductive nature of this tax. It is hurting not only the UK's economy, but it is hurting tourism, it is hurting travel, it is hurting inward investment in terms of the United Kingdom. But also we are losing our competitive edge in a global race, and we live in a global race. We are in a highly challenged global economy, and our competitiveness is being hampered as a result of this. Now, I have to be very, I think, cautious in terms of what I say here, because I have had private discussions with ministers in the Treasury already. But there is a clear recognition that there is a long way to go on this. And financial circumstances are what they are for the government right now. However, the sentiments, I think, are very much the sentiments that we all feel in this room. They would, if they could, like to change the circumstances that we're in. But I don't think it's going to happen overnight. So as I've discussed with Martin, I think what is absolutely key is that collectively we come together. Tonight is all about advocacy, and I think aligned advocacy in particular. But it's a case of how we leverage your voices collectively, and also from various airlines that are represented here tonight as well. We need some new voices and some fresh voices, I think, to be injected into this debate. The debate from a UK perspective has some of the usual voices that are out there. And I say this from the point of view that, I speak to certain airlines, certain airport operators, etc., etc. But putting APD within the global and international context is absolutely key, it really is. And that's where you all have a very strong role to play in terms of advocacy. I very much hope and look forward to working with Patel to coordinate some of these aligned voices, because if we put it in terms of that global race, global competition, the damage that it's doing to the international economy, not just the UK economy, then I think we have a very powerful and persuasive case that we can continue to make, not just to the Treasury, but to the UK government and also across the board internationally. So I do look to you all in this very sort of positive and constructive way. I look forward to working with you as well, because as I've said, we are only just started on this journey. We've only just lit the touch paper when it comes to this debate. We have a lot of support in Parliament, we really do. And I think we have to, really capitalise on this moment to, I think, off the back of what Gloria has said, have that leap of faith and move forward and make that constructive case in terms of the financials and the global economy as it stands. So I look forward to working with you all together on this. And also to many more discussion forums, whether it's through an event like tonight, but if not through smaller round tables going forward, because this is all about keeping the pressure on government. This is all about the facts and stats, as I call it, making a persuasive case and demonstrating that it's quite counterproductive in terms of what the government is currently doing. So thank you very much.
Thank you. What more can I say? We have a great spokesperson on this issue under this roof, and with Andrew's support, I'm sure we have every opportunity to move the case forward. What I propose we do, as dessert, Jeeves has offered as well, is we ask a few of you around the table who've got many other examples or anecdotes or facts and figures you might want to share with the table, to ask you all to briefly, in a minute or two, those who feel they have something that should be shared, to say that. I wouldn't call this a Q&A or an official debate. It's more of an information sharing